Hello everyone. Hello. Um, so let's try to see if we are live right now. Team is all team आ रहा है. It should so. Yes, I was learning about this. Um, how do I know if I'm live? Like library or something? Okay, I maybe I should. Am I live? Am I live? Yes, I'm live. Okay, I maybe I should. Nice. Okay. Hey, I remember. Huh? Hello. 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 Hey. Huh? Hello. Hello. Nice. Alright, now we can start learning. Okay, I was in class-based views. So about using mixins. What are mixins? I don't even know what this is. The create, retrieve, update, delete operations that we've been using so far are going to be pretty similar for any model-based API we create, views we create. Those bits of common behavior are implemented in REST frameworks mixin classes. Okay, so CRUD operation is done in mixin class. Okay, let's take a look at how we can compose the views by using mixin classes. Here's our view.py module again. Nice. So from this app.model snippet, we imported the model, and then we imported the serializer, and from REST framework we're importing mixin and generics as well. So we create a snippet list class. So we're basically modifying our view.py class. All right, nice. So have I committed it? Okay, nice. So what I can do is I will delete everything, right? And I don't want this views. Okay, we are not using API view now, so let's not use status as well. Response pani pare na. This so from REST framework import mixins, from REST framework import generics, and our class is snippet list. Okay, and mixins dot list model mixin. Nice. And mixin dot create model mixin dot generics dot generic API view. I don't understand what this is, but like our query set is snippt dot objects dot all means with this all means we're basically doing select star from this table. So it will return a query set which is not by default understood by the Python interpreter. So that means we need to make it understandable. That means we are converting it into Python primitives, which can be done with the serializer class. Yes, and so our not serializer class, but it's a like we need to pass in the snippet serializer in the serializer class. As far as I know, in this mixin, it must create mode mixin. So list mode mixin. Let's if we go into this, right. So we are defining a query set and a serializer as well. That's for our get. So for our nope, not here. Where is our mixin mass? If I try to search for get success header, get object. Okay, we don't have the method get itself. Sure, let's just follow it right now. Def get, it's a class, so we need to pass in self to refer to that object or instance, and our request and our args and the keyword arguments as well. So for this, array turn self dot list list model mixin match. We have a method called list that takes okay, so it takes in के लिन्छ अरे रिक्वेस्ट लिने भयो अनि त्यसपछि लाएर it takes in args र keyword arguments. Nice. अनि post भन्ने छ which takes in self request र फेरि पनि args र keyword arguments and it returns self post मा चाहिँ create भन्ने रिटर्न गरिरहेछ अरे. create mixin मोडल मा चाहिँ create भन्ने छ. ओके create self dot create भन्ने यहाँबाट रिफर भइरहेछ. ओके कल भइरहेछ. सो रिक्वेस्ट भयो त्यसपछि लाएर त्यसमा आर्गुमेन्ट र कीवर्ड आर्गुमेन्ट पनि पठाइरहेछ हामीले. Alright, so this is what I understood. We'll take a moment to examine exactly what's happening here. We are building our view using generic API view and adding in list model mixin and create model mixin. We will take a moment to examine exactly what's happening here. We're building generic API view and adding in list mixin draw create mixin model mixin. Okay. The base class provides core functionality and the mixin classes provide list and create actions. Okay. Create list. So create model mixin, list model mixin and okay, यति भइरहेछ हैन. And if we even destroy पनि राख्या simple stuff so far. Binding the get method to appropriate actions. Okay. So get and post will get means it will list, post means it will create. Nice. Okay, easy enough. And for our mixin, destroy model mixin. Okay, so that this is basically the same thing. kf kf it doesn't work. Fuck. So serializer, and then we have our destroy model mixin. So if I go in this and mix dest destroy model mixin, so it's gonna perform destroy. So I just need to call for destroy. That means delete self. We need the request as well. For this self dot destroy and request star args kwargs. Okay, nice. Keyword arguments as well. Destroy call pretty similar. Again, we are using generic API view class. Generic API view. Using generic class-based views to provide retrieve, update, and destroy actions. Alright, let's test it. Sure. Snippet.views has no attribute snippet details, so let's remove this one as of now, and we'll go here, right? And snippets. Okay, so we can do get, right? This is the default get thing, and if we want to push, like do the post thingy, so it gives us form. Okay, title PRIVATE code help me private language. Sure, good. So we post it, right? And our information is posted. So ID number 7, and there's our information that we just uploaded. What if we were to delete? So 1. Okay, let's do 7. Sure, 7. Nothing's happening because we don't the entire list gets deleted, not the single one. Generic API view. Using generic class-based view. Difference between mixins and what was that? Difference between mixin and generics. But these are different roles. Reusable classes for pre-built views that combine mixin plus logic. What if I do this? Snippet list has no attribute as view. Views.snippet list as no vacancy. Okay, mixing are reusable building blocks that provide implementation of common methods like list, create, retrieve, etc. Common mixing, list mode, create, retrieve, update mode, model mixing, destroy, retrieve, list, na? Okay. So the exact same thing, it gave me the exact same thing, literally the same thing, bro. Generic views are fully composed views that already include mixing and HTTP method handling. List API view for listing, create API view for creating, retrieve, update, destroy API view, full crowd on detail view. What the fuck? So in our generic views we need to create a list create view, snippet list. So from what I understood, okay, so from what I understood, mixins provides methods like common methods for to destroy list and to post the information, but the generics provide you the entire view, right?
Exactly. You've got it. Mixins provide specific methods for common actions like listing, creating, retrieving, updating, and deleting data. They are like building blocks. You still need to define the HTTP method handling yourself, like get, post. For example, you can combine mixins to create your custom views by manually handling HTTP methods. You can see the code in our conversation history. Generic views provide entire views for common use cases like listing, creating, retrieving, updating, and deleting with minimal code. They combine mixins and HTTP handling under the hood. You don't need to define HTTP methods get, post, unless you want to override them. For example, you can see the code in our conversation history. This does both get for listing and post for creating without you having to write those methods yourself.
Okay, I understood. I think I understood is the exact, is the
thing. For example, you can see the code in our conversation history. This does both get for listing and post for creating. For example,
the generics provide you the entire view, right?
Exactly.
Generics provide you the entire list and to post the information. Okay, so from what I understood, mixins provides methods like common methods for to destroy list and to post the information, but the generics provide you the entire view, right?
Exactly. You've got it. Mixins provide specific methods.
Okay, it's working. The audio is also quite nice, it seems. Okay, so we are using class-based views. with makes sense, and I don't understand why this is over here generics. Why is this here? Hey, okay, so self.list is from. Bro, I still do not understand this. Why is here? Because it provides all the underlying functionality, query set handling, serializer method, request parsing that makes it depend on to work. Okay, so generics.list API view is needed. Generic API view is needed. Nice. So okay, let's push get uh, get dash m Django docs class-based views with mixins git push. Sure. Great. Now I would like to use the generics. I don't need mixins now. Mixins don't depend on generics. I mean it does, but for only generic API views for to for the underlying functionalities. Okay. SNIPPET, the snippet list, generics dot list create API view. Sure. QUERY set. Query set is snippet.object all. Okay, let me just see. In our generics we're using this, so get and post will be used like this. Why the okay, nice. Concrete view for listing a query set or creating a model instance. Get and then post. So how do I write it? Maybe I write get and all snippet dot objects dot all. This is our query set. So for our serializer class will snippet serializer. Yeah. List create API view. List model. List. What's paginate query set? What's paginating means? What does a paginating mean? So for our serializer we just assigned it to the serializer class. Yeah. Self.get serializer. So get serializer भन्ने कहाँ छ? There's no get serializer. Query set and serializer class. I still don't understand what the fuck. Our query set is here and our serializer is here. Okay, this is the only thing that I need to know. And for our it's a list create kind of thing, and snippet detail. For our snippet detail, we will generics dot um, retrieve API view, retrieve update destroy API view. Snippet dot objects dot all serializer class snippet serializer. That's pretty concise. We've got a huge amount of free out of code. Looks like idiomatic Django. Now we'll take a look at how we can deal with authentication and permission for our app. Okay, retrieve update. What are we doing? Retrieve update model mixing, destroy model mixing, and we are importing generic API view पनि लिइरहेछौँ हैन. सो यो generics भन्नेमा यसो generic API view यसले के गर्छ? Base class for all other generic views. You'll need to either set these attributes or override get query set. यो गर्नुपर्छ. If you're overriding a view method, it is important that you call get query set instead of accessing query set property directly, as query set will get evaluated only once, and those results are cached for all subsequent results. So query set चाहियो, serializer class चाहियो, अनि lookup field भनेर पनि दिन मिल्यो, lookup URL quarks पनि दिन मिल्यो, filter backwards, pagination class, okay, यति सबै दिन मिल्यो. Nice. Generic API view, views.api view. Lovely. Makes sense पनि हटाइदिउँ. Using using generic class based views, Bye. Let's move towards authentication and permission wala part mein. Heal me. Unauthenticated requests should have full read-only access, adding information to our model. And we're going to make a couple of changes in our snippet model class. First, let's add a couple of fields. One of those fields will be to used to represent the user who created the code snippet. The other field will be used to store the highlighted HTML representation of the code. What the fuck? Okay. We are going to make a couple. Okay, HTML representation of the code. Sure. Only as a star. So model massive, we need to make these. Heal my heart, sick, hungry cry. We also need to make sure that when model is saved, that we populate the highlighted field using means code highlighting library. We'll need some extra imports. Now we can add a dot save method to our kiki boy Lexor बाट चाहिँ import get Lexor by name HTML formatter okay, so यो चाहिँ HTML represent गर्छ रे highlighted भन्नेमा चाहिँ राख्छ यसलाई चाहिँ त्यही हो सायद maybe now we can add a dot save method to our model class. Hungry, thought I could survive on you. Heal my heart, sick, hungry cry. Keyboard, yeah. If के भयो HTML formatterमा चाहिँ प्रब्लम के आयो no overload for init fix this shit bro copilot you should remove the keyword style constructor insert positive this time. Still don't understand what this is. Heal me, I'm heartsick, hungry, thought I could survive on you. Heal my heart, sick, hungry cry. We'll need to update our database design. Normally we'd create a database migration in order to do that, but for this delete the database and start again. What do I care? No app installed with snippets. Oh shit. अब what? Bye. Nice. You might also want to create a few different users to use it for testing the API. The quickest way to do this will be to create super user command. Okay. Sure. And I give up forever to touch you. Adding endpoints for our user models. Now that we've got some users to work with better add representation of those users to our API. Creating a new serializer is easy. In serializers.py add. Now that we've got some users to work with better add representation of those users to our API. Key representation. So sure, नयाँ सिरियलाइजर बनाउने अरे है. Primary key related field. Query set भनेको छ. Okay. I'm lost. I'm very lost. यसो I am एकदमै lost. तर यही नै फलो गर्छु. I just want you to know who I am. Yeah, fuck it. I don't want to use this right now. Associating के भयो views user list as view, user detail as view. So alliance users, man. Associating snippets with users. Right now, if we create a code snippet, there's no associating the user that created the snippet with the snippet instance, the user isn't getting sent as part of the serialized representation, but instead a property of incoming request. Yes, I think actually the user isn't sent as the part of serialized representation, but is instead of the incoming request, property of the incoming request. The way we deal with that is overriding a perform create method on our snippet views that allows doing. The create method of our serializer will now be passed with an additional owner field along with validated data from the request, updating our serializer. Now that snippets are associated with our user and that created them, let's update our snippet serializer to reflect that. Add the following field to serializer definition. In serializers.by owner equals to serializers.read-only field source equals to owner.username. Make sure you add owner to the list of fields in inner meta class. The field is doing something quite interesting. What?
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मेरा नाम है विजय और आज की वीडियो में हम लोग बात करेंगे ऑथेंटिकेशंस की, हम लोग बात करेंगे परमिशंस की। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं।
In this video, we're going to introduce permissions in Django REST framework, and we're going to see how we can create these permissions and tie them to the generic view classes that we've been looking at in the last few videos. So what we're going to do is address this issue that we have here, and we saw this in the last video, where if we're getting a user's orders, but there's no user that's actually authenticated in the application, then we're going to get this error here, and it's a type error at the user orders endpoint. So just to understand why this is happening, if we go back to the view that we wrote in the last video, we're overriding the getQuerySet method on the subclass of listAPI view. We are getting the parent query set here, and then we're doing some filtering, and it's this line of code here where the problem arises, because self.request.user, that's not going to refer to an authenticated user if there is not an authenticated user sending that request. Therefore, this is not going to work. So what we need to do is we need to tell Django REST framework that this view is only accessible if you're authenticated.
Action. Okay. Wait.
Hello, welcome to the Django REST Framework tutorial series. In this one, I'm going to take you step by step to build here and just do permissions.isAuthenticated. In a between class methods do view, similar to like what we did here, but instead of having a and that is by using mix-ins. So we're going to go ahead and import the mix-ins here at the very top from the REST framework, and we're going to import the mix-in right above the generic, or really before the generic API view. We're going to do mix-in and list model mix-in. Okay, so what this does is it provides us with the ability to declare our query set, like product.objects.all, and our serializer, just like we saw before, and that of course is going to be our product serializer. And now in this get here, I can just call self.list, request, args, and keyword args. So this list method here, that right there, is coming directly from this. Now,
relationship and hyperlinked APIs, view set and routers.
in this case, I'm actually handling this list method from a HTTP GET method. But if for some reason I wanted to change it to a POST method, I totally could do that. I could do that just like that. Now it is different than the product list view by default, or the generic list API view by default. It now goes off of the POST method. Now this same concept actually can be applied in other places, right? So coming back into this product list view here, I could actually implement that same idea here. I could use that same POST method because this mixin is in here by default. I'll show you the documentation for that in just a moment. But the idea here is when we want to use mixins, that will give us the ability to have access to some of the methods that are built into the mixin. This is a little bit more clear as you use it more, but also look at the documentation. So in the documentation, we've got our generic API view here, and we've got a bunch of basic settings, such as query set, serializer class. Hey, what do you know? Even a lookup field in here. Great.
Lovely.
Now, when our
so from what I know, I can say nothing. I can say lookup field. Okay, snippet detail and a lookup field. So PK मिल्छ कि मिल्दैन primary key, so lookup field equals to pk भन्ने variable त्यो भकै छैन you should so यो variable लाई कसरी ल्याउने मैले यसमा URLs बाट चाहिँ यो आउँछ snippet details भन्ने छैन snippet detail भन्ने मात्र छ so snippet detail as view भनेर छ हैन यहाँबाट pk भनेर आइराछ can we get it pk भनेर छैन के फेरि retrieve in your सबै चीज यहाँ छ get bit pass so model instance हैन a snippet detail a so we के हुन्छ lookup field equals to pk हुन्छ अब URLs लाई यो भयो अनि okay it's running है alright so what I need is snippets भनेर हाल्छु मैले snippets भन्ने छैन रे no such column what the hell operational error. Dot snippet list as view snippet detail. Usually or
when we look at the list model mixin, we see that it provides a .list method that takes in a request. That's it. It doesn't say how to use that list method. This is how you use it. You put it on some sort of HTTP method. Now I'm going to keep it in with the standard method here. The reason being is now I'm going to go ahead and test this out with our product mixin view. And of course, it's going to go based off of this product mixin as view. And we're going to go ahead and run the client here. So Python py client and list.py. So I hit enter. This should list everything out as it did before. Now, of course, in my URLs, I just want to change this to my product mixin view now. Again, still listing things out. If I attempt to do that, I'm getting an invalid error here. So I put serializer. This should be actually serializer class, which is what we've been doing up until this point, and it will also tell you this is the error here. You need a serializer class or implement the get serializer class method, which we could talk about later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and run this again and again.
Okay, we might not be completing the authentication today, but maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna go take a shit or something. सुत्न गइदिउँ क्या हो? Alright, I'm gonna max reps. It's all the way to the max. The weight is 60 kgs. Let's see if I can curl it. Almost. Wait, what the fuck? I can do it easily, man. What the fuck? What? That just got a whole lot difficult. No, but this is very close. What the fuck? Is my grip strength growing? I do like 30, 40, about like 50 reps a day, I'd say. I try to do it as slowly as I can because, just to make it more effective and all. But I don't see any significant change happening in most of it because I just can't gain muscle, apparently. Okay, GG's. I still have a lot of time left. I will be awake till like 11, so I think I'll be completing authentication today off stream, and tomorrow I'll make an authenticated API system.